Hello and welcome back to another edition of Relatable. I am your host, Stephanie Michele. This is actually a pre-recorded show and it's Super Bowl Sunday of all things. I think we're in kickoff time actually. We're recording this at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I can easily record a show about fashion while the Super Bowl is going on because I have to say I'm not much of a football fan. But if I have to tell you who I'm rooting for, my loyalty is only to a certain team because a good friend of mine is a super fan of this team. So I am definitely rooting for the Eagles, for my friend Nancy. Shout out to her. She owns Polished Nail Salon in downtown Los Angeles where I have Eagles green on for her. So I hope her team wins. And, I hope that's your team too. And I hope you enjoy the game, even though I'm not going to be watching it. And the reason why I am pre-recording this show is I actually will be flying to Pennsylvania tomorrow to be on Sean Killinger's show on QVC with the line of boots that I've designed for my client. They are a conversational fashion boot. The line is called Stride by Sloggers. If you're around, please tune in. That's 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Sean Killinger's show. And that's a great segue to what we're going to be talking about today. That line of boots is something near and dear to me because it is picking up on this trend about conversational fashion. And what I mean by conversational fashion is wearing a print that has something on it that you really want to talk about. Like there's a topic, a subject that's like your hobby or something you're really into, or maybe it's words that have a special meaning to you. And when you wear it, like you intend for people to ask you about it because you dig it and you want to be able to talk about it. And I really believe that we need more pieces like this right now to get people to lift their head up from their phones and actually talk to each other or compliment each other. So I'm really into it. There's a lot of conversational fashion pieces in my wardrobe, and we're going to talk about more of those today. But to be honest with you, like my general thoughts about fashion and in my wardrobe in general, most times I'm too busy really to care too much about it. There's times that I really want to dress up and look great, but a lot of times it's just like there's so many other things that I want to worry about. And my closet is like the biggest point of stress for me. I get into it, there's too much in there, I can't get to the pieces that I love the most fast enough, and all kinds of thoughts are running through my head, like what do I want to say today with my wardrobe? And so I've started to figure out that maybe there's a better way to approach this. Like maybe there's like a uniform approach to fashion, and my guest today actually has helped me develop that, and you're going to find out why and why she's so special to me. So without giving it all away, I'm going to introduce her now. This is Lisa Foti. She's actually a really good friend of mine. She's a local downtowner as well, but Lisa's a fashion design major and a native of New York. In 1997, she opened up her own women's clothing boutique with a retro feel, unique wares, and a collection of her own designs. And that was in Union Square, like super busy place, right? And she gradually just found that there was a demand to cultivate really unique and exclusive designs for her clients. And as a result, she started her first line in 2003 called 3 Free Designs. And then in 2010, Lisa left New York City to California, thank God, because I wouldn't know her if she didn't. And she began to produce her own line under her name. And Lisa is driven by lots of things. She loves like natural, like she loves beauty in nature. She loves fabric. She gets really excited when she sees like new designs and fabrics and texture and color and prints. And she's inspired by, art, music, and love. And all of her clothing is made in downtown Los Angeles, and then she ships to independent boutiques worldwide. I'm actually wearing one of her dresses, and we'll talk about that. She, of course, is wearing one of hers.
Of course.
Yeah. So welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for doing this. Of course, you'd be like one of the only people that could do this during a Super Bowl Sunday because we're not.
Exactly.
We're not really sporty, right? Like, no. let's just. You don't want us on your soccer team. We're going to be the last to be picked in that situation, right?
Exactly.
I might be able to throw a good elbow.
I'm into the colors of the uniforms and the textures, but that's about it.
Yeah, you can do that part. Cool. So, well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
The first thing that I always ask people that sit in that chair is there anything that you just want to get off your chest before you talk about what we're going to talk about today, which is all about fashion, but anything that's just kind of pulling your mind or distracting you?
No, not really. I can't really think of anything. No,
ready.
I'm here with you. I'm zen in this moment.
She's into it. All right. Well, tell me, like, what's the earliest memory that you have about fashion? Like, were you like a real girly girl with dresses?
Oh,
or
gosh.
What did it feel like?
Well, I did have 2 older sisters, so that really helped a lot. And I remember as a young girl watching my oldest sister getting ready to go out, like every night. On the weekend. So it would be Friday, Saturday night, and of course you can't wear the same outfit, nor did she wear the same outfit every week because you're going to the same club, and it's kind of like a no-no. And I guess you want to be excited by your clothing, and you have different moods and different days and different feelings. So as a child, I really remember that, and then she used to take me shopping every weekend to various sample sales and really cool clothing things, and I was of the age where I could sometimes fit into the extra small, and so she'd always get me a little something. So I think the passion kind of grew from that. Just every weekend I'd look forward to going shopping with her, and then we'd have lunch, and then I'd have something new to wear to school that Monday. And I just remember feeling like, you know, when you have a color on that you like, or something feels good, or you know, it really does enhance your whole day, I think, versus if you're wearing something that's too big or too tight, or you know, just like not really vibing with who you are as a person, whether it be color or texture. I think clothing really does play a big part in our day-to-day life, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, people may ask, well, Stephanie, you do a show on relating, why are you even covering fashion? But fashion is another form of communication. It's telling other people how you feel about yourself, what are you into, and for sure, if you're comfortable, if you're wearing something that like, hey, I know this looks good on me, it's a color that, you know, I feel good in, it fits well, like you're going to be more comfortable to like relate with other people. So it's super important. So that's cool. Like you had sisters that got you inspired and got you dressing and like kind of thinking about it. Do you remember when you thought, I might want to do this as a career?
Well, I actually kind of fell into it in the sense of that I started selling vintage. I was really just collecting vintage over the years and inspired by so many different time periods, maybe a sleeve from here or a skirt bottom from that, and kind of just melding different things together. And as a kid, I always had to wear pants under my dresses. It was just like a thing. I wanted more than one thing. I didn't want to be like just wear a dress and kind of be like everybody else, but more it was like a feeling of security to have the pants on and maybe a little shirt under my corduroy dress. And so I really do remember, like I'd say from like 5 on, really having to pick out my clothes. You know, like certain weeks I would wear purple all week, and then on you know, depending on the season, because I was from the East Coast, you have to kind of conform to. It's not California where we could wear anything anytime, but you know, clothing is really a venue for, I think, feeling comfortable or not comfortable. You know, it's a very unspoken thing. It's a feeling, you know.
I'm giggling because I grew up in the Midwest and of course had to dress for cold weather, and my earliest sort of fashion memory is being really, really, really upset that I had to wear my moon boots all through the day at school because I forgot to pack my dress shoes, or I only had like one left, or I think I took 2 left shoes of a different pair, and I went to the principal's office and tried to call my mom, like, please bring me my shoes, and she wouldn't, and so I had to wear like my moon boots. And if you are not from the East Coast or the Midwest, you don't know what moon boots are, and they're exactly what they sound like. They're just these huge honking boots.
They're awkward.
They're really awkward. But so I had to wear those with a cute little dress, and like it was like horrifying.
Didn't feel right.
No, it didn't feel right. I was so upset, so upset. Like that's definitely no moon boots. But yeah, so it's like you have to work around a lot of elements when you're dressing for the cold, and lots of changes too, because we'd have to get all bundled up, and then you know.
And then through having a store. Selling the vintage, you know, I had like, of course, like the classics, Diana and Furstenberg and Pucci, and so I really got to be influenced by many different designers, but mostly influenced by the women that were coming into the store just with little issues. I mean, it was You know, there's a wrap dress that I developed over 15 years ago, and most designers get sick of things quickly. And in the beginning, I was, you know, thinking, okay, well, it's another season. I have to create a whole other thing. But my customers were saying, like, well, I have to have you make more of those wrap dresses because I just don't have to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
And it really did come about from like women, like, you know, I don't want to show my arm, or, you know, I'm a professional doctor or a lawyer, and I can't be showing my knees, but I want to wear a dress to work. So listening to all these little key points of issues, and then actually constructing the design from what I'm hearing from, you know, women that are having, you know, it's not fun when you have to try on 10 things before you have to go to work.
Yeah.
And you know, so many deadlines, and it shouldn't have to be such a stress.
Yeah.
So, you know, a lot of the designs have come from just listening to women and being a woman myself with certain needs and, you know, functionability and comfortability in clothing. Is key.
We've talked about this a lot, and I think this is how our friendship has grown. And is it is like you want to be fashionable. I don't think any women don't want to be fashionable. Like everybody's making a statement.
Of course, we all want to look and feel great.
Yeah, right. But it is a lot of pressure to like keep up, and then the whole like consumerism of it, like just I need new things every season, every year. That you know, a lot of times, like if you're chasing that, there might be something going on in the season that like it doesn't look good on you. Like I'm very short-waisted. I can't put on a high-waisted pant to save my life. It's just not. It just doesn't look good. It looks like a mom jeans skit on Saturday Night Live. It's not going to work out well. So the idea that you could hear that your clients are like, they're just trying to dress to their body type. And there are classics, like a good wrap dress. I mean, Diane from Furstenberg has been making that dress for how many years? And people are still buying it. And all she does is update the prints and maybe the fabrics. And to be able to do that for clients and listen to them is pretty amazing.
It's really awesome. I really appreciate it because I would have never made a lot of the designs that I have made if it was just according to what I like. So it is really nice to have the feedback on a day-to-day, like the struggles of women and the struggles that we have as being professional, and then maybe wanting to step out to dinner afterwards and not feeling like we're so at work. You know, maybe we could take the jacket off, and really paying attention to necklines and you know, lengths for legs, and people going to religious services and churches and funerals and weddings. You know, in the beginning, I was kind of like, well, I'm a designer, you know, I'm not really making that much of an impact on the world. And, you know, is it superficial? I'm like, you know, clothes. And then when you get the feedback that, God, I had such a good time at this wedding because, you know, I just felt so confident in my dress, and I could eat and I could move. And then on the other hand, like having to go to something as sad as a funeral, you know, what do you wear to that as well? So it's like, I mean, you know, we have to get dressed. If everyone showed up naked, it would be
it's a whole other party.
A whole other chaos in the world. So we need this material on us, and we need for it to I think, enhance who we are. And we're also individualistic. And so over the years, like I'd say like a good handful of my dresses, and this lovely example that you're wearing, you know, has come about from my clients. It's fun. It's awesome.
Let's talk about that. So we've talked about this. Like I remember one of the first times that you and I just were talking about fashion, and I might have said like let's backtrack. So this dress, I had a similar dress that I really liked, and it was like my go-to dress, but I couldn't just wear this dress all the time. It was just a plain navy blue dress. And I took it to her, and I was like, Lisa, this looks a lot like some of the styles that you have, and I think that I think you could make this, you know. And we talked about it, and you're like, yeah, I could make this. And so she just started making it for me in different fabrics. I mean, this dress that I have on is behind me in like 6 or 7 different patterns. It's the same exact dress. It's my signature Stephanie dress, and you know, in doing this, like this takes so much stress out of my closet. It does match up with my lifestyle. I can do this show, I can go out to have dinner afterwards, or I can hit a networking function or whatever. It's a complete match to my lifestyle, and I know when I put it on, it fits well, I feel good in it, it's exactly what I need, and I would have 12 more, you know, like if I could, this and then something casual, we'll get to that. But I like the idea of this, but I'd never had a conversation with someone in fashion that said that was okay. And you told me, I remember the story, you talking about wanting to kind of wear a uniform in school, and you kind of just hinted about it, like wearing all purple one week. And I'm like, she's the first person that's kind of fashionable and is making that kind of cool, like to just have your own uniform and wear it. And this is yours. Like this is also her dress, her zipper dress that she wears with shirts underneath it, or she'll wear it with pants, or sometime with little cute little stockings or tights or whatever. But that's your uniform dress. This is my uniform dress. Like, where can you trace back where you started to think about fashion like this? Like, I just need a few key pieces, or
probably in a similar case with you. You know, going to your closet and just having events to go to, and gosh, what do I wear to this? And I'm kind of a creature of habit. Just I do it with food and stuff. You know, when you go to a restaurant, you tend to get the thing that you got last time because it was so good. And it's like, oh, maybe I should try something different. And sometimes I do, but most of the time I do kind of zone in on that. It could just be like my little bit of an extremist personality. But if I say if it works for you, go for it. I mean, if you find a pair of sneakers that you love because they're more comfortable than others, like I think that you should have them in 3 colors. Yeah. So you don't wear the one out, get sick of it. And the great thing about designing is you can make the same style just so different, like you've pointed out here. I mean, you have your kind of daytime business, or could really go even dressier if you put some pearls on, versus sweater, velvet. And then
velvet, did you get that? I have a green velvet Stephanie dress
that was the addition this year.
Yeah, that is the newest. Actually, these two are the newest ones.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And very different, extremely different, but the same dress.
Yeah, so different feeling, you know, different season, different mood. Obviously, something in denim is different than something with black and gold pinstripes, and then, you know, some people want to even custom the dresses, so, you know, we do different pockets. And
by the way, she can put a small child in those pockets. They're so utilitarian.
I don't like to carry a bag. So this dress was developed in New York City. There's a lot of subway riding going on. You need to hop in a taxi. You need to have all your stuff. Although you do have a bag for the day with your shoes, because you're generally going out after work and stuff. So I just wanted something that was utilitarian. You can layer it. You could wear it with, you know, pants or not. And then the pockets are key because, gosh, big pockets. Like, how many women's dresses do we have big pockets?
Well, I would think too in New York, because they're in front of you, it's a little harder for a pickpocketer to get to it. It's not on the side. That. And they're deep too, because you would know.
Exactly.
Someone's going that low down the front
you're
of
like,
you.
Wait a minute, you're in my dress. You need to get out. Yeah, and there is that security system. I mean, I've had a few people order this in a vest, and we just did the pocket inside because she did get mugged, unfortunately. Oh, wow. And so when she was walking her dog around, she just wanted to not have a bag, and you know, so it is like a good security measure as well to have deep pockets.
Yeah, deep pockets. Good expression too as well. Well, so I heard something. So along this line, like we're really talking about fashion as a uniform, really. To like, this shouldn't be something that you're overthinking. You know, if your closet's presenting a lot of stress for you, or like you're having a hard time getting dressed, like it's time to probably rethink that, because that's energy that's like being pulled that could go somewhere else. And what I think Lisa and I are both saying is like, you can still be fashionable and you know, and present yourself in a very fashionable way without being a slave to trends and a slave to like consumerism and all of that, and just a couple pieces. So I heard something, I wanted to get your opinion on this. I heard about, so there's a website called BeMoreWithLess.com, Project 333. And what it is a challenge. Could be, are you hearing the hint, you guys? It could be the social challenge of the week, but it is a challenge where you pick 33 pieces out of your wardrobe and you box up the rest, or just kind of move it into another room, and you only wear those 33 pieces for 3 months.
Wow.
Wow. And you undergarments don't count, but outerwear, anything that you're going to wear, and accessories and shoes count in that. So you start to, it gets really small really quickly when you think about accessories and shoes. Yeah. Could you do it? Do you think? What do you think about this
I could definitely do it.
Yeah,
I could definitely.
You kind of already do.
I kind of already do. I mean, I'm on like this is probably I have 30.
Yeah.
Of course, it's easy for me because I could just wake up and I'm in the mood for all blue denim today, or I'm in the mood for silver. A lot of my customers do have a dozen themselves.
Yeah.
So there are other people doing it as well. I'm not the only one, and you're not the only one. But 33 in 3 months. I mean, at first the 33 seemed like, yeah, that's pretty easy. But then when you mentioned it's accessories and shoes,
now they said
coats,
your wedding ring doesn't count. So if it's an accessory, it's something that's sentimental to you that you wear every day anyways, you can rule that one out. So that would not count as a piece. So
I could definitely do it, and I would actually love to challenge myself to do it. I've been wanting to clean out my armoire and all my drawers since New Year's, so I'm a little late because we're in February now. And just put everything in the middle of my place and just really source out what it is that, because there's nothing worse than putting something on and you're like, I don't like this. Why do I keep putting this on and I don't like it?
Yeah.
Every time I put it on, it makes me feel not quite right, not quite. So I think it would be a good discipline.
I think we should do it together.
Challenge. I think maybe we should do it together.
Like, we got to pick a date.
I might only have a rack of zipper dresses at the end, but hey.
Well, I would have my Stephanie's. I would have my conversational fashion T-shirts and maybe like jeans and a baseball jacket.
We probably have a lot more time.
Yeah. Well, that's my whole point in doing this. It's like, look, there are things that we're doing that we've been so habitual in doing them that are probably pulling our energy in a negative way, and that could be energy towards relationships. It could be energy towards like doing something that's more directly connected to your well-being. So, yeah, I like putting the attention on here, and I like literally, I experience this every day. Every day I open my closet, it's like, oh, seriously, unless I got enough ahead of the day that I picked out my clothes, the night before because I know something that's coming up. But that doesn't happen very often. Like, it's really... Or
you can, and then at the last minute. I recently went to a red carpet event, and it kind of did sneak up on me a little bit, and you'd think, oh, she's a designer. I have everything at my fingertips. But I did have like a serious malfunction the night of, to the point where I was like, I don't think I'm going to go, because just what I thought I wanted to wear just didn't feel right when I actually put it on, and I did go back to, I think actually I wore this.
Yeah, see, it happens.
So
it happens, and
it's good to have staple, classic pieces that like yourself. You're saying, you're on TV, you're going to shows, you're traveling around. It can't be too stressful. We have too many other things to concentrate on.
One of my variables is packing too. Like, none of the materials that you've made the dress in for me wrinkle. I literally could throw them up into a ball and it would look great, pulled out of a suitcase. Or I could wash it in a sink. God forbid that I spill something on me somewhere. Like, I could take it off and wash it in a sink and it would be okay.
It's really important.
It's really important. It's really important. It's really important not to overthink it.
Well,
we'll have to pick a date and do the challenge together.
Yes,
I'm into it. I really want to do it. And then even the idea of donating all those things too that don't work out, like to be able to take that to a women's shelter together, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
Yeah, I think we should do it. We just have to pick a start date and convince.
Yes, and where will we do it? I have quite a bit.
Yeah, maybe we'll trade too.
Hey, that's fun.
This might be your 32 piece. Like, we could do that. So you talked about, really, I think what I'm hearing in your story, and tell me if I'm hearing this right, but what's really affected your design sense and what you want to design is really listening to women and what they're challenged by, and and what they're interested in. And so I know I can't even imagine how many different women and different body types and different careers and things that you've interacted with. Are there things that pop up to you that are like things that you just want to talk to women about fashion, like tips or like things that you would just say to encourage anybody to just have not a better sense of their fashion, but more of a healthy approach to like how they're picking out things?
I would say know who you are. Know what you're comfortable in and what you're not comfortable in. Try not to get too caught up in a trend, because they are trends. Stick to a more classic kind of shape, and then you'll always be able to go back and just put it on, look at this picture or this show you were on or event, and gosh, what was I thinking you know, putting that trendy thing on or getting that trendy thing. I mean, I think that it's more of a feeling of how you feel when you put something on. I mean, I can tell when a customer puts something on before they come out and look in the mirror, before they come out of just as they come out of the dressing room, how they're kind of moving. Some people dance. Yeah. And they haven't seen themselves in the mirror. So I'm like, oh, like this is it. Like and then there's some people that can, you know, to my eye look great in something, but they're not comfortable in it because it may not suit their personality, or it might be too bright, or they're just used to wearing black. And so don't let anyone else talk you into what you should be wearing. I think it's a, you know, trial and error with yourself, and to just really kind of be compassionate with that. Fit is more of a feeling than a size too. Yes. I think a lot of women really get caught up in whether it's a small or a medium. I just think that we just really shouldn't do that to ourselves.
Well, and realize that a lot of name brands, or when you go into these like stores that are just massively producing clothing in other parts of the country, and God knows what kind of labor situation, but these sizes are so off. Like there are stores that I'm an extra small, and I'm not an extra small. I think in the 50s I would have been a good size 8 or 10 even. I mean, there's some trickery going on in the sizes. So if you get too caught up on the sizes, like they've changed, the fashion I like it's this big conspiracy, but it kind of is. It's consumer. It's the consumerism conspiracy, but things have changed, right?
Oh, yes,
they've definitely changed. Like what size was actually a size 8 or a size 10. So don't get caught up on it. You know, put things on, and if it feels good, and like, you know, you can move around it. I often take the same. If I'm going to stores, if I'm not shopping with my friend Lisa, because I went to her when we started talking about the show. Now I have a shirt that I want her to design for me, because I want to do what's going on with the Stephanie dress with some other parts of my wardrobe, and I really do want to condense down. It's ridiculous. But so before that, so I'm just leaning towards all of my stuff with you. But if I do go into a store, like I will take 3 sizes into a dressing room and then just kind of move around in them, because they all fit differently. They all fit differently, and it doesn't matter what size it is that you end up with.
No, it shouldn't matter.
No. And if it does, cut the size out. You know,
exactly.
Like, forget it. You'll never know in 3 months' time. Yeah, like what size it was.
Was it a small or an extra small?
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows what it is? All right. So I like this idea of people of you know, not being a slave to fashion, doing what feels right. But I think there's an element of trying new stuff on, because we can get kind of stuck
for sure
in things, but new in terms of color though, not so much like your body, you know, you dress to your body type, and you want to kind of get that same fit over and over again. I think that you're onto something when you say if it feels good, you're gonna look good. You know, if you actually feel good in the fabric. Like I put things on, it's just because of the texture of it, I can't wear it, and somebody else might look at it and go, it's great, but
yeah, you have to. I think, you know, it's an expression of who we are when we get dressed. It's not a coincidence. You know, we express ourselves through color, our moods. I often have a little bit of a hard time packing for a trip, because I'm a very feeling person. So I don't know what the feeling is going to be when I get there. What kind of mood am I in? Do I want to wear all black, or do I want to wear lemons or flowers? So it really is like a situational kind of checking in with yourself on the day, but to have your core pieces that you know always save you. Yeah. You're always like, okay, I tried on 10 outfits, I'm just going to go back to that piece that always works for me. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, we don't have to be slaves to, you know, getting new things all the time. I have a lot of customers that actually tell me each time they do buy something from me, or a few items, that then they go home and they take, if they bought 3 items, they take 3 items out of their closet. So there are people hip to it.
That's a nice tip too.
It's nice. Yeah. And so it does also make you look at, do I need to be buying this? Because now what 3 things am I going to get rid of? So you'll be more apt to get the things that are really going to suit you and you use. And
I think that's an excellent tip to remember too. And maybe like we're women. We're the only people that can like spend money and say that we save so much money at a sale. Oh, I saved so much. You know, we live in the fashion district in downtown Los Angeles. So you can go to sample sales and all these things. But yeah, if you're bringing, just because it's inexpensive is not a reason to purchase it.
Doesn't mean you have to have it.
No.
Or
I mean, you gotta love it. You should love it.
You should love it. You should put it on and have that feeling of that I want to dance.
Yeah.
I want to like makeup. It just enhances who you are.
Yeah.
You know?
And I like your rule though. Like if you're gonna buy it, like you should ask yourself, do I like this so much that I'm willing to let go of something that's already in my closet? Yeah. Yeah, I got to do this. God, I should probably. Embarrassingly, I think I should share pictures of what my inside of my closet looks like.
We could do another show, like
social
before
post.
and after.
Yeah, I should, because it's a wreck and I'm embarrassed, and you know, I tell you everything else on this show about what's going on in my life. I might as well let you into my closet, so I'll do it. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to say about fashion? We're going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
Do you want to say anything else about? We covered it pretty good, but
I think we pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
I'd say at the end that to keep in mind that fit is a feeling.
Yes.
Don't get caught up in anybody's number scale.
Fit is a feeling. I like it.
Fit is a feeling.
Fit is a feeling, and it should feel good. Just like feel good relating, fit should feel good. All right. So the next thing that we do on this show, and of course, you guys, I'm going to share all of her links so you can get in touch with her and see the other silhouettes. These are just two, this dress and her dress. She's got several other silhouettes. She's got the most fabulous faux fur that you could possibly imagine. You'll see some pictures of me coming up in the midnight blue fur that she made for me on my birthday. I took some pictures yesterday, actually, that I'll be sharing out. But yeah, so she's a fur lady too. She goes gaga for fur. I love those days when I come in and you're cutting fur, and she's like, "I'm cutting fur.
Oh, it's messy.
It's everywhere.
It's like tape, vacuums.
Yeah, but you love it.
I do love it. I have to say,
it's
quite a texture to work with.
Yeah, I bet it's everywhere. All right. So the other thing that we do on the show is like I like to demonstrate at any given time how we're relating could change. Like something could happen, get distracted, whatever. And the best way that I can do that is just ask an off-topic, silly question.
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
So I have a box and it's called "Not Your Mother's Tabletop" or "Not Your Mother's Dinner Party."
Oh.
So that's tabletop is here, and then I have a book, and you get to pick. Do you want a question from the box or the book?
The box.
The box. Okay. I'm just gonna randomly pick. You never know what it's gonna be about.
Oh boy.
Have you ever been in a physical fight?
Oh gosh.
I kind of think yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kind of do. Am I?
Well, I've been slapped across the face.
Who are they? Let's find them.
By my sister.
Oh, yeah.
So
of course you've been in a fight.
That's
Another sister. That's why.
That's right. Remember those two older sisters. It wasn't because I borrowed their clothes and didn't give it back. But there was one altercation I did have on a train once back in New York. The girls were really drunk, and they were just kind of a little bit out of control. And she did kind of like try to swing at me, and she didn't hit me, and I just had to like kind of kick her to have her not hit me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like actually an altercation. I've never had a black eye.
Nobody's YouTubed you.
No one's YouTubed me. Yeah. So I mean, not really.
Cool. I mean, seriously though.
How about you?
I have an older sister too. Yeah, I'll answer. I have an older sister too, and I'm sorry, Jennifer, but you were mean.
Oh.
She did some mean stuff. Like I remember having my tonsils out, and she was like teasing me, like you can't talk, and like trying to hit me, and like
Older sisters do that.
Older sisters, yeah.
You hear that, older sister? You used to tease me a lot.
Yeah, you put me in therapy, older sis. Yeah, for sure. But and then only one fight in high school. Or my friend, I think she just got her period or something. I don't know what happened, but she kind of came after me.
Was it over clothes?
No, it wasn't over clothes. It wasn't over boys either.
No.
I don't really know what it was. I just remember that we got in a fight and then we laughed about it later.
That's nice.
Yeah, being just emotional. This is not a fun one. That's a boring one.
Oh, there's more than one.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple. You can ask me one too.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Let's see. What would be a good addition to the human body? What would be a good addition to the human body?
Well, with all the technology that's going on, perhaps something that would help us navigate our closet.
How about a pocket?
Get that out. You never wear that. Every time you put that on, you take it off.
So a second brain? Are you saying that? We almost are there, actually. We're not too far off on that.
Maybe something to listen to our instinct better. Just kind of like a little indicator, which I guess that is our feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, feelings really can be a barometer for is it the right, is it the wrong? And I think that we tend to maybe ignore those a little bit because our mind comes in and takes over.
So maybe like a feeling button. So it's like, oh, I don't know if I'm like listening to my feelings right now. Let me press
almost
my feeling button.
like a mood ring.
Ah, yeah, I like it. Mood nails.
It's
mood
turning
rings.
red. You're heating up.
Yeah.
This is a good thing.
I like it. I want to give you one more, and then you can.
Okay.
Let's see how silly we can go. It's not really a silly question, but I'll ask you: have you ever had an anxiety attack?
Well, I tend to think that I have anxiety attacks, but I've never been diagnosed, or it's not official. But yeah, here and there, sure, I think we all do.
I think you run your own business, and you have to wake up and make stuff happen. I know that I have to do that. Like, I think there's some anxiety in that. But there's ways, as we approach these things, like you find better ways to deal with them too.
For sure.
Yep. All right.
You're pulling out the book.
I'm going to ask you a book question, then you can do whatever you want.
Oh.
Booker, you can ask me Booker. I'm an open book on this Sunday evening while football is going on.
Super Bowl's happening.
Yeah. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Which would you rather have? One intimate soulmate, but no other good friends, or no soulmates, but lots of good friends?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question.
I know, right? I'm not sure how I'd answer that.
Since I am a creature of habit, and I do tend to like that uniform type of thing, I'd say one soulmate would do me right.
I would kind of leaning that way myself, only because there's so many other things that I like doing that sometimes it feels like I have a hard time managing the friends that I have. Like I don't get to see everyone as much as I want to and spend that quality time. So sometimes that's some anxiety in my life of I haven't seen this friend because I'm doing these 12 things, and these 12 things are really important to me. So maybe not having
like too many clothes in your closet.
Yes, I know. That's what I'm feeling. I should be a minimalist. All right, you try.
Okay,
let's see. See what you can come up with for me.
Okay, you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
You sure?
Is it the same question?
No. Well, there's two, so let's see.
You can pick which one.
One's better? While arguing with you on the phone, a close friend gets angry and hangs up. Is he or she does not call back, would you call them? If so, how long would you wait?
This is very this is a hard one to answer without having more context.
Want another one?
No, but no, I'll try to because it's a good relational question.
No one likes to be hung up on.
Yeah,
like,
we
get disconnected.
Yeah, so it depends. Like if we were in the middle of something, and first of all, cell phones hang up on people all the time, so you couldn't.
Absolutely.
My immediate thing wouldn't be like, oh, this person just hung up on me, and then I have to call them back. Would be like, oh, we're in the middle of this. I still want to, continue this. And if things are heated, like I tend to want to get through that as fast as possible. I don't want to have to wake up the next day and still be dealing with that. Like I'll rip the Band-Aid off. I'll take conflict over hours of pain any day, just getting through the conflict. So I would say, yeah, I would call them back. And first, and not assume that they hung up, but like, oh, we just got disconnected. Let's, continue talking. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
That's good to know. You plan on getting mad at me
back?
Yeah, you're gonna hang up on me?
No.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't think so. So
Okay.
I think I have another one coming your way.
All right, stop.
Would you rather be a very successful professional with only a tolerable private life, or have a great private life but an uninspirational professional one?
We've sound checked this question before when we're playing around in here, and B's smiling behind the camera right now because I don't know if I thoroughly answered this question, so now I'm on the spot. The space is like, yeah, you're on. You didn't answer that question the other day.
There it is again.
Okay, so I think the only way you have a great personal life is by having a successful life, right? Like, how do you who gets to have that? Unless you were born with, extreme amount of wealth, and I don't know if I'd want that burden. I think it seems to be more of a burden for people than a plus, because for lots of reasons, but that's another show. So, of course, I would want a really awesome personal life, with rich friendships and relationships, and being out in nature and experiencing new things. But I love what I do, actually, so I wouldn't really want to give that up. And in what I do, there's opportunity for me to contribute to the world, and I know that's always going to be an important thing to me. I don't see that I could just ever retire and not be doing something that's being of the world and trying to contribute in any way, even if it's a small way, trying to do something. So it's an odd question to me.
It is an odd question.
Because how do you have a really rich personal life without having a successful life, right?
Oh, I just opened up one here.
Okay, go for it.
What could someone figure out about you by the friends you've chosen?
You know what? They'd have a hard time. So the thing that I hear the most from people that are starting to get to know me, or are really trying, is I've so many times been said, you're a bit of an enigma. They're trying to figure me out, and they can't figure me out because I don't have one group of friends. My friends are all different. In many ways, I don't even know if I could put all my friends together in a room and they'd be okay with each other because they are different. So I don't know if anybody could figure that. I don't know if there's much to be figured out by the company that I keep. I will say that if I'm going to be really honest, I judge people by the size of their heart. So I have to feel some connection. I have to see some act of kindness or them handling the situation, and then I'm Ed. I don't care who they know. I don't care what they do. If I can't feel some heart energy, we're probably not going to connect.
Yeah, so, I'm with you. I feel you on that. You have to have a connection of some sort,
Yeah. But I think it would be really interesting for people to go, well, why? If they didn't know that, well, why that person? Why that person? But here's the thing, guys. And this is one of the reasons why I do the show is there's so much context in the world. There's so much context in relationships and situations. And we're living in this time and place where we make really quick judgments about what we see on social media and just assume that you know everything, or you assume that those 5 words that were strung together for that social post mean something specific to this person, yet very different, than maybe what the reality is, right? So, the idea of someone even trying without asking the questions and getting into the richness of the context behind the relationships, you're missing out, I think.
And I think that's becoming harder for people with the social media. I mean, there was a day not too long ago when I would go to a cafe and people would be sitting there relating like we are, talking over an espresso or a coffee. And now it's becoming very singular. Yeah. It's very with the phone or sometimes it looks like an Apple commercial when I go into a cafe. I'm like, wow, this is trippy. People are not relating to each other anymore. They're kind of becoming one with this phone and the technology. And I think it's important to put that down sometimes.
I do too. I think if we're, and you think about all the difficulties that are happening in the world right now, and it feels like a time where we really need to be connected, and yet there isn't loyalty and people aren't connected and the phone is more important. There's something really wrong. I don't know if you noticed, but the last Apple commercial for what's the 10? Is it now the 10? That's out. The song that was playing in the background is a Sophie Tucker song that I actually like the band, but it's about being your best friend. The lyrics are
gosh.
You're my best friend. Me and you got things to do. Best friend. I'm like, it's a phone commercial. The person, are you talking about the phone is your best friend? I like this band, but no, you guys sold out on this big time. Because the idea of this thing in my hand, this piece of technology is more important than you or anybody in my life, is not cool.
Yeah, like
No.
I know some people that are practicing, like couples, they all go out to dinner. They don't take their phone anymore because it's too tempting. It's just too tempting to have it there. They take one phone because they have kids and God forbid there's an emergency or something. And I think it's a great practice to put the phone down. I had to put it down for this show as well and shut it off. And I think it's a good practice, especially, you know, we live downtown and, you know, I see so many people on the phone while they're supposed to just be crossing the street. Let's just try to cross the street.
I've seen people almost die.
Without,
I'm not joking. Like they walk out. That's more important. Or they're walking towards you, and they're gonna.
They will bump into you.
And then they're mad at you, and it's like, seriously, your head's down. But that's more important to them than the encounter that they can have. And it's like, it's no wonder we're having a hard time finding love and all that. Like there are people everywhere. Look up. You know, they have things to tell you and stories.
Say hi to each other.
Yeah.
Make eye contact. Yeah. It's good.
Compliment them on what they're wearing.
Yes.
Hello. Like,
ask them where they got it. Who made it?
Exactly.
How is it possible for me to make one of those?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I 100% agree. That's why I do this. I think
that's awesome.
There's something. This is my fuel to be able to sit down with someone like once a week and just have a meaningful conversation. Just go a little bit deeper than you would in a certainly in a text, but in a 10-minute encounter. And I feel like that puts something really special in my system. And the reason that I do the show is to say, hey, do you do this too? Like I guarantee you, if you sit down with someone and really try to ask questions, like you'll find out something really interesting and like,
I found out new things about you today.
Really?
And I'm sure you probably found out some new things about me.
I don't think I knew you had 2 sisters.
Oh, I have 3.
Oh, you have 3.
Yeah. The third one's younger, so she watched me get dressed.
Yeah, that was interesting.
So,
all right. Well, so we're towards the end of our show here. We have one more thing that we do on Relatable. Along the same lines of everything that we're talking about. So I like the idea of just showing that people are meaningful, people have made a difference in people's life. Like you're a successful designer, you're making a difference for women that come in and feel good about the clothing that you're wearing. But you had mentors, you had people that like said, Lisa, you do this even when it was difficult or challenging. And so what we do here is a segment called Heartswell, where I let the guest just think of somebody that's made a difference in their life that you just really want to acknowledge. You want to give them a shout out. You want to tell them that you love them or they've meant something to you. And we do this just so it's not scary to like show deep compassion or emotion. I hope that people see it and we rise the level of compassion and empathy in the world by going, oh, look, she said that about so-and-so. I could do that. I could call somebody and say that.
Let them know the meaning that they have.
I could get my own heart.
Could it be more than one person?
You could, it could be,
Awesome.
It could be as many people as you want.
Okay, well, I'd like to, of course, thank every customer that has ever supported me along the way. You all keep me going with your little stories about where you wore your dress and what it meant to you. Of course, my husband for listening to all the things that go on behind the scenes in fashion, and I do take it home with me very often. And also a great mentor of mine, Miguel Torres, who is as well as a designer. And other designers can be very territorial and not share even motivation or ideas. And he's just really generous with that, and I really appreciate that. Thank you.
He's fun. I know Miguel too, and they share space, and they're totally different. It's interesting to see them together because, again, you know, the richness of relationship because you guys are completely different.
Yes, we are.
And there's different dynamics and different times of day and different things going on that it's like there's a whole different level of energy happening between you. But yeah, I dig it. I have some of Miguel pieces too, but not as many. Lisa. I have more Lisa pieces.
Thank you.
Sounds better. That's a new line. Lisa's pieces.
Lisa's pieces.
I think we should do that.
You'll have to brand that.
Yes. It will be part of the 33.
Yes.
That collection. All right. Well, it goes by fast, right?
It does.
It goes by fast. Like you can sit down with someone for an hour and it won't feel like an hour.
Trust me, I was worried. I was like, 50 minutes is a long show. She's like, it'll go fast. Don't worry.
How are we gonna
you were right.
Yeah. It feels good when people are interested in you and you're going back and
forth. It's
forth.
awesome, actually.
Yeah.
It's what I think, you know, a lot of people are missing out on these days. And so thanks for having your show and keeping it going and having an interesting topic every week.
Thank
and
you.
having me on.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
me. Enough about that.
Thanks.
I appreciate. Thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. I hope to
I
continue to do
appreciate
this.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. It's like mutually gratifying energy in here. Like we'll probably say thank you about 10 more times when we get off the air as well.
Thank you.
And by this time, do we know Super Bowl scores? No, we don't, because we don't care.
We're here.
We're here.
We'll find out.
We will find out.
Hear
I am
about
going to check in on my friend because she's really wanting the Eagles to win, and I hope they're doing well right now. So we will check that out. Probably the halftime show as well. Yeah, I hope they win too. All right, that brings us to the end of the show. So, like I said, this is a pre-recorded show. If you're watching this on Tuesday, try to check me out on QVC tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look up Sean Killinger, The Fine. I'll be on there with my client's line of boots called Stride by Sloggers. We're really proud of these. They're fun conversational prints. When I wear them downtown, people are like, they smile, they look down at my feet. And like they actually, you see people like this in their phone, and then they catch this color on your feet, and they're like, oh, and they compliment you. And it's like, it's cool. Like, we need more of that. So really excited about that. Next week, who's going to be on? Caroline Fernandez. She's wrote a book called Mission Possible. It's a little more about authenticity. We end up talking about that a lot, like just do you, be you. So we'll be talking about that again. And of course, I've already hinted to it, so there's always a social challenge of the week in the show. And for sure, I think let's do this social challenge of the week about, it's 33 pieces, 3 months. So just see. Yeah, see, if you were relating to some of the things we were both sharing about, we love fashion, we like to feel good, we like the fit to be good, but it's kind of stressful to have too much in your closet. If you were relating to that, let's do this together. Let's purge. Let's go through and take things out that don't feel good, that don't bring you joy, that every time you put on, it's like, it's just not working. And you don't have to, what's cool about this challenge is you don't have to give everything away right away. Just get down to 33 pieces for the 3 months. You can put stuff aside, and then after the 3 months, you can decide if you want to donate or bring some of those pieces back in, or maybe switch out and have another 33 pieces. So it shouldn't feel so much like, oh, I can't get rid of everything. Like you have a little bit of time to make the commitment to keep or not. So let's do that. I like this challenge a lot because, like I said, any place that we can take stress out of our lives will give us more time to do this, to relate and support each other, and I think that's what's important in life. So that's the social challenge. There is a PSE coming up, Public Shared Experience at the Relational Center. That's February 20th. That's where we do more of this in a group. It's always amazing. People share on a really deep level, and they leave with this sense of feel-good relating, which I love. It's such a pleasure to be able to continue to do those at a place that's really special to me, the Relational Center. So that's February 20th. And as always, you can catch the archives for the show on my site, stephaniemichele.com. Talk to me if you do the challenges at Relate with Steph. I'll share out her social media profiles too. She posts a lot of her profiles or dresses on there, and you can tell her, if you're taking the challenge or you might see a piece that you want, you can reach out to her as well. So we'll share all of that, and as always, I just encourage everybody to relate with more curiosity. See you later. Thanks.